are watching, pause. We pause for a second or two. How do we keep life coherent when so much is changing? This is episode 209. Pausing when frozen. Today we are talking about our core skill, the first emotional skill. We're talking about the skill that every other skill builds upon. We're talking about pausing. Pausing is what you are seeing and what you are feeling that I am doing all the time in this program. Pausing is it's somewhat similar to just stopping for a while and sometimes taking a slight step back and sometimes just being where we are. And pausing is to just take a moment to allow our heart to catch up with our thoughts. To allow our heart to catch up with whatever is going on here at the moment, wherever that may be. In one sense, pausing is not actually a skill. It could be a skill that we develop, but pausing has this natural quality to it. It is naturally occurring all the time. It is being done by people and animals as well, all the time, but we seldom reflect upon it. We seldom acknowledge that it is happening. Often you can see an old person just sort of being in their own company. You can also see a dog or a cat just sitting there, not really doing anything, just pausing. So pausing is, in one sense, it is related to similar concepts like mindfulness, awareness, meditation, concentration, resting, relaxing, hanging back, and all of this, the sort of quality to it that you can feel now, that is pause. That's what you will see me talking about again and again and again. Pausing. It doesn't look like much, but it feels like much. And to do what you're seeing me doing here in this episode is the doorway into learning all kinds of different emotional skills. It all starts with pausing. All good decision making starts with a pause. To know ourselves, to get to know ourselves, to find our place in all of this confusing life. It starts with a pause. Always. Today's episode is called Pausing When Frozen. And the subject of today is serious. The subject today is regrettable. The subject today is complicated. And that is why we make use of our core skill, pause. Whenever something is too complicated, like we cannot find the ins or outs of it, then there is always need for pause. And that's what we're doing today. So right now, from time to time, I talk about the situation in my native country, Sweden. And in today's episode, I will do so and make use of our core skill pause in order to create a sense of space, a sense of time, so that our hearts may catch up with our thoughts. I don't know how familiar you are with the current situation of Sweden, but in case you do not know, Sweden has seen increasing violence the last few years, and it is getting more and more and more. And now, for the last couple of months, there have been explosions and shootings every day. Every day. So what we're doing today is that we pause for a second or two and recognize the state that Swedes are in right now, in their hearts. I was just on the grocery store today, so I have common Swedes fresh in my body. Emphatically, I have them fresh, a fresh sense of how they feel. So, Swedes are not really we are not that battle tested as a people. As a people, we were not in the Second World War. We were not in the First World War. We have been officially neutral for a couple of 100 years. And we have thought of ourselves as a peace-loving people. I was taught in school when I was a kid that Swedes are a peace-loving people. We love peace and democracy. That's been sort of the mantra for the common Swede. And a situation now when we have explosions and shootings every day in such a small country such as Sweden, it gets quite confused to be peace-loving and democracy-loving when there are explosions and shootings every day. The two goes in opposite directions. So that takes us to today's title, Pausing When Frozen, because that is a, I think, good word to describe the states of Swedes right now. They feel frozen. Their hearts feel clenched up and like a cramp, like when your muscles are cramping. That's how it feels right now. And yes, everyday life is going on as usual. People are going to work, kids are going to school. But even when people are talking with each other, even when people are laughing or people are, minding their own business. All of it has this sort of frozen feel to it. Like their hearts are not in it, or their hearts are elsewhere. That's how it feels. It's a very lonely place to be in, to feel frozen like that. So, what happens then when we pause, when we feel frozen, when we feel like it has become too much? We don't know where to go. We just feel paralyzed. What happens first when we pause, when we are frozen, is that we do not know. I do not know. And like all people, I look around and I see if there are anyone who is saying something or doing something that sort of comments on this frozen feeling. And in a way, perhaps a few people are. And now it has become more of some kind of discussion in Sweden, what to do about the explosions and the shootings. But it's still on a very sort of polite level, very superficial level. The discussion doesn't go to the heart yet, at least. I don't know. The feeling is that Swedes are living in just a thin layer of themselves. And there's so much within, so much. But we're just staying in this short veneer or thin layer, just utmost layer. And the question is, how long can a person stay there? I don't know. And I guess a lot of Swedes are now waiting and seeing what happens in our wider world. Right now, our Swedish situation feels like a tiny piece in a big puzzle. And it becomes quite strange that explosions every day and shootings every day still in one sense only feels like a tiny piece of a big puzzle. It's strange that something so severe can feel so small. Maybe that is part of this frozen situation. And in conclusion, this is what pausing is so good for. It's not really about finding answers. It's not really about finding quick fixes or solutions of any sort, really. It's just to, whatever the situation may be, however despairingly it might feel, when we pause, we create a space. We create a sense of time. And having that sense of space, having that sense of time, sometimes is enough. Sometimes the solution or the answer or the quick fix might not be up to us. Sometimes pausing might be what we can do. And you be the judge. When you see me pausing and you have joined me in this episode and pausing as well as you are watching this, do you feel somewhat different? Do you feel in any way that your heart has at least a little bit caught up with your thoughts? Or caught up with your body? Or caught up with your surroundings? The place where you are? That's pausing. Yes. That's it for today. Thank you.